currently does not have a form policy that we could look at to say, well, this is how we should do it. And Barb and I checked both, and we were surprised, but it sort of makes sense that they don't, because I don't think they really know how to deal with it at this point. This is a fast-evolving issue, specifically with internet usage. Traditionally, we've always, in the past, I've been more worried about phone calls. You know, how many people can you have on the line at the same time before you start having an open meeting? And here, of course, that would be once there's 4 of you, and you're talking city business, that would be a problem. I wonder, and there's no ruling on this yet, but I wonder out loud whether a reply all to an email becomes city business. And so I would caution you to think that through when you're doing, well, say you're scheduling a meeting. Well, scheduling a meeting really isn't city business, but let's say when you reply all to scheduling a meeting, you include in there, well, I also think we should do this, this, and this. Well, then all of a sudden, maybe that is becoming a meeting, since all of you are hearing one of your thoughts at the same time on the internet. So I would caution you to be careful when you're dealing with, when you're writing anything down. Remember that, first of all, whatever you write may be a public record because of your official capacity. And second, make sure when you write it down, if you're going to communicate with the entire council, that it's not doing business.
Okay.
And those are the things I would just have you be mindful of it. If you get into a situation where you're concerned, like you're in a gray area, call your city attorney, you know, and then have me make a ruling. And that way, if I'm wrong, I'm the one liable for the mistake. That's why I have insurance.
It's just also safer just to respond to city staff officials as opposed to anybody else on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If you direct it towards the city staff, then you're not going to have an open meetings problem.
Right.
It's still a public record.
True. But if you're offering an opinion, it's no longer a problem with
Correct.
open meeting laws,
Exactly.
rules. And if you're talking to one of your fellow committee members, that's still not considered an open meeting because it's not a quorum.
Correct. It's not an open record, not an open meeting, but it may be an open record.
Right.
And so just keep those things percolating in your thought process when you're doing business on the internet. And I think if you keep those thoughts in mind, read the pamphlet, and you know, keep those ideas percolating in your head, we're not going to get into trouble. We're going to see a lot more cities getting written up and having problems like, and I'm not commenting on Old Wine other than they're in the paper, what, today or yesterday for having a problem. These things are easy to violate, especially on the internet right now, because we're not thinking that through as an issue. So that's why I would urge you to think about those things. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want us to adopt a policy, I could draw something up. I don't see that's necessary right now. It might be best to wait till the bigwigs at the League of Cities do one.
But would it possibly not be a good idea for considering the future? Because all of us are not going to be on this council.
Yep.
And if we're thinking about it right now, future councils may not think about it right now or then.
I will defer to however you want to do it. We do have a really nice
I have 2
policy
questions for
that
clarification.
we could put in our right in
Don't we have
rules of procedure.
Yeah.
We could amend our rules of procedure and put a paragraph or 2 in there dealing with internet usage, and that might be a really effective way to adhere for future councils and elected officials how to handle that issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you want us to do that, we could do that. I could wait till a new city manager gets on board. We could work with him and Barb and create something. I just want us to be on the front end of it, not on the back end.
Let's wait until the new city manager comes on.
He might have dealt with this where he's been with as much bigger areas as he's
Right.
dealt with. So.
I'd say all states would have some kind of open meetings law, wouldn't
Yep.
they?
Yeah,
Okay.
these are pretty uniform throughout the country. Ours is more expansive. Understand, ours is more bright than a lot of other places.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
One question, we had a previous council member who not sure whether he did it because he didn't know everybody's email address or what, but he would send to Barb or to Steve and ask them to forward it to all the rest of the council members. You really, that becomes a public record, the same doing that, right?
Yeah, it's always a public record, but then does it become a public meeting? And I think we got two things. The email document itself is a public record, unless there's an exception. But then if it gets forwarded on to everybody and it's a political discussion, in my opinion, then that creates the issue about whether
Right.
that's a meeting or not.
Debating or discussing.
Right. So that's, if it's, hey, I can't come tonight, or I'm, I'll
This
be
is
5
how I
minutes
feel.
late. If it's ministerial, that's not a problem, but if it's political, it clearly is.
Okay, if I have information I need to pass on to council members, either about something that's happening or something we've been working on, something of that degree, if I do an FYI or that information and send it individually, does that, it's still a public record, I realize that, but that keeps it from being a open meetings law since it was individually, even though it was the same information sent to each person?
Well, actually, you still could probably send your group email, because you're not advocating a position, or you're just saying we bought a new fire truck and it costs $5,000. Well, that's not a political.
Fire truck.
Yeah, good
Or the
deal.
fact that the fire truck came in.
Right.
The fire truck
I
has
like
arrived, if you wanna stop down to see it,
I want two of them.
Right,
Yeah.
I think that'd be,
That
again,
kind of
that'd be a
thing.
ministerial thing, giving an update to the council, and Steve kinda did that.
Yeah.
Why don't you update, we
Yeah.
did this, or, that's not a, I don't
But-
think that's a meeting, because you're not taking the action, you're not making.
But responding to her in reply all with an opinion of a matter that might come up for discussion, would be a no-no.
Correct.
You could send it back to her individually, saying
Correct.
your opinion on something.
I think buying
But
the fire
not-
truck is stupid, and then
Right.
that's,
As soon as you do that, you're now debating or discussing or
right,
whatever.
so
Yeah,
that should not be done publicly.
so it should be sent direct, you're gonna do a single reply back to the staff, basically, that would be it.
Yeah.
I think as soon as we get our city manager, though, we need to have this at the top of the list as something that we address,
Yeah.
so that we don't let it